I have no love for cheaters in multiplayer games. It absolutely ruins the experience of playing online and makes it very frustrating. Any cheating takes the competition out of games like Counter-Strike or StarCraft. It also can imbalance a game and turn it into a place only cheaters congregate. Let's jump into some specific game examples of cheating and how it affected the game. You know, some players are not purposefully trying to hack or exploit a game. They might just accidentally come across a database bug that they can take advantage of. In Habitat, released in 1985 by Lucasfilm Games, a small group of players found such a bug. They discovered that an in-game merchant had items at a lower price than a different merchant around the corner was buying the items for. For hours, the players ran back and forth between the seller and the buyer, amassing hundreds of thousands of in-game currency. When questioned, the players said, "We got it fair and square, and we're not going to tell you how." Of course, the players knew they did not get the currency in a legitimate way. They were initially blinded by their greed of getting the gold and having more than anyone else on the server. Eventually, the players admitted their actions, and the bug was fixed. While Habitat was able to avoid an economic apocalypse, Diablo II? Not so lucky. Item duplication absolutely ravaged the market. Basically, cheaters found ways to create multiple of the same item from just one real item. It was so lucrative, sellers were duping items and selling them on eBay. As soon as one duping method was patched, the sellers would offer a financial reward for another. It wasn't always used for financial reward either, and was so prevalent that many players had hacked items without even realizing it. Blizzard had a difficult time dealing with the problem, because it couldn't just remove all the items. This would leave many players without any items at all. Cheating begets more cheaters, as people are more likely to cheat if they think everyone is doing it. That creates the market for buying and selling the items. There would be no point for the hackers to sell the items on eBay if no one was buying them. If it's so extreme, many players will consider it the way the game is played, the new normal. If everyone else is doing it, why not? Blizzard didn't handle the problem swiftly, as stated before, and only later banned accounts. The profits were so high for the scammers that they just bought new copies of the game. There wasn't a true punishment for the cheating, which allowed it to continue for so long. Halo 2 had a different programming error that involved the networking of the game. To allow for some network lag, Halo 2 was very lenient when a player would lose connection. This allowed players to use their modem's standby button to artificially create network lag. The game thought the player was disconnected and was waiting for them to reconnect. In this state, other players would lose control, but the host would keep track of them. After the standby was released, players would teleport and have full control back to their position. During this time, the host had free reign to do whatever they wanted to win the game. The exploit became known as standbying, and Bungie eventually solved this issue by banning players that went into standby too often. Since this cheat wasn't for profit, the bans generally cleaned up the issue quickly. I think software-based cheating is a lot more well known. Altering the data that gets sent between the player and the server includes cheats such as aimbots and wall hacks. A programmer has reverse engineered what data the server is sending or looking for. This can give the game client more information than it should have, or aim their gun right at the other player. It can also send misinformation to the server that a player has killed another player when they actually have not. The only reason for these cheats is to give the player a clear advantage and ruining others' experiences. For viewers who do not know what an aimbot is, it's a program that runs in the background and with a single key press can move the cursor onto an enemy. And this can be set up to shoot the gun as well. Most people try and hide this cheating by aiming most of the way themselves, but making sure they hit the target with the cheat. A wall hack allows the players to see through walls, just as a map hack would allow the player to see the entire map, even the parts they were not supposed to. This has actually affected the Counter-Strike global offensive professional scene. With online tournaments, players think they can get away with cheating and have actually been banned live on stream. They're already great at the game, so a little aim assist might go unnoticed. This can really ruin a competitive scene. These kind of cheats are obviously against a game's agreement, but that doesn't stop people from wanting to use them. One method to stop cheating is to encrypt the information between the game client and the server. IT Global Secure was doing just that with SecurePlay. Even if a cheater could decrypt the data, it would be very difficult to re-encrypt and send it back to the server. This system is designed to prevent cheating rather than banning them. If someone was cheating, it made the game unplayable, which is different than a ban since you can't just go buy a new copy of the game. You might remember using a different anti-cheating software between 2000 and 2006 called Cheating Death. Cheating Death ran between the game client and the server, unknown to the player, and monitored for the use of cheats. For example, if you could not see a player because they were behind a wall, Cheating Death would actually move the player's location behind you. If you were using a wall hack, you would still not be able to see the player. Games that relied on Cheating Death let players cheat, but made the cheats seem ineffective, hopefully frustrating the cheater into giving up. Cheating Death would also detect other cheats and simply disconnect the player. No records were kept of cheaters, and they were not directly punished as cheaters. Punkbuster, which is still in use today, takes a very direct and strong approach against cheaters, labeling them as punks. Like an antivirus, Punkbuster scans the player's memories for well-known hacks and cheats. If something is found, they are banned from the game, and it is announced to all players. Punkbuster keeps track of cheaters with a GUID, a special identification key that is generated from their hardware. Of course, Punkbuster has never released exactly what hardware this ID is being created from. There is a master ban index of cheaters, which can be used to keep known cheaters out of your game. This strong approach to cheaters calls them out, labels them, and prevents them from playing other games that use Punkbuster. This software really defined the rules around cheating, that it's harmful and disruptive, and should be handled with a swift ban. The system is not perfect, since it scans everything in memory. Anything in memory that looks like a cheat, even if someone copy and paste something from a different program, could get you banned. Quick shout out to Valve Anti-Cheat. It's also still in use today, banning people mostly from Valve's games, Counter-Strike, Half-Life, Team Fortress 2. There's not much to say about it, and any information about how it works is very secretive, as to not help cheaters defeat it. Pokemon Go is handling cheaters by not banning them, but showing them low-level Pokemon they don't really want to catch. The server figures out if the person is botting and starts sending them specific data to change their gameplay experience. Either the cheater will not notice and continue in their own little world, not ruining the game for others, or they will notice and become discouraged from cheating. In my opinion, this is the best way to handle cheaters. While public shaming does have its place, it's so much better to leave them to cheat in their own little world. Or if a game can create more annoyances that drive the cheater to stop playing altogether. Encryption is also a great method, but unfortunately SecurePlay and Cheating Death are no longer available. A lot of companies try and write their own anti-cheating software, but it is not the most effective method, because it's usually not the focus of development. An example of failed cheat detection is Grand Theft Auto. Rockstar has implemented their own cheat detection that is notorious for not catching anybody. GTA 4 had a serious problem with cheating, and that idea carried over to GTA 5, even if it wasn't true. This drives legitimate players away or makes them turn to cheats as well. Rockstar has tried to combat this by causing illegal cars to explode once the player gets into them. I mean, they might succeed, but the game's image is already tainted. If cheating is so frowned upon and leads to permanent bans, why do people still do it? A lot of the reasons from my part 1 video still apply. Many gamers enjoy long games but don't have the amount of time it takes to complete them. Or maybe their friends are able to invest more time and they just want to keep up. Buying gold in an MMO can save time. Buying a leveled account can save even more. Blizzard resolved the need to buy gold through illegal means by allowing purchasable WoW tokens that can essentially trade real money for in-game gold. Those leveled accounts, while not specifically cheating for the buyer, were probably created by speed hacks and botting. Playing God can still be fun, and now it has the added benefit of ruining the game for others. As you walk onto the battlefield and with a single button press, everyone around you dies. You're not only above everyone else no matter the skill level, but now you can see their cries of hacker. One Canadian gamer was doing just that. To vent from his shitty day job, he was spending $25 a month on cheats for Battlefield 3. Eventually he was banned, but just bought more legitimate and pirated game keys to fuel his addiction to cheating. He's not alone either. There is an entire subculture around cheating like this. I figure if there's a business around it, there must be enough people buying them. I've touched on this a little earlier, but on some level, these cheaters are intentionally trying to make the game less enjoyable or cause emotional distress for others. Typically, this behavior is labeled as griefing, but both experience the same enjoyment out of creating a negative environment. The goal is often to annoy as many players as possible to gain attention. If you've played Minecraft, then you'll probably understand. You're building this nice house and someone comes over and burns the whole thing to the ground just to antagonize you. I mean, if you haven't played Minecraft, think of it this way. You're on the beach, building your sandcastle with friends. You're having fun. Someone comes over and kicks your sandcastle down right in your face. Pretty rude and insulting, right? But in the digital world, there's no consequences. The griefer can just leave the server and never be heard from again. Cheaters experience the same enjoyment out of making someone feel inept and rage quit. The ability for humans to rationalize their behavior is impressive, and with cheating, it's no different. A lot of players can feel as if everyone else is cheating and they are a victim. They turn to cheating as a way to even the odds. You're no longer getting one over on your opponent, you're just reinstating equality. If the cheater starts getting rewarded or praise, they are more likely to continue cheating. A well-fought, close, online, competitive match can be one of the best and most exhilarating experiences you can ever have. And cheating just ruins it. For me, it's disappointing the lengths some people go to for cheating. Spending money on them is just ridiculous. To the cheaters, find a new game to play, one that has less of a time requirement, or a single-player game you can cheat in. If instead you find yourself in a game with a cheater, just know that it's not directed at you, and don't give in to the rage. That's what they want. You know what's up. Hit that subscribe for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.